Hello, I'd like to help you get familiar with Jupyter Notebook. So the first thing is your Jupyter Notebook file name. Up here you can rename your notebook pretty easily. So that's the first step. Then your notebook is going to be blank when you start out. For mine, it's already got code in it just to make things easier. So to add a cell, you can come up here and add a cell, and then you can move cells around by clicking these arrows, and you can change the cell type by coming here to cell type. So we want to use markdown cells for plain text. And this markdown cell, let's say for example, this is your assignment. It's probably good to put a heading section up here. So we'll put your name, maybe the course, and the date. Now notice if I were to put, say, instructor like this, if I run this, if I hit Shift Enter to see how it's going to look, it doesn't register that I want a space there in between. So make sure if that's how you want it to look that you put that extra enter. Okay, so you just saw the level 1 heading. In this one, this is a level 2 heading right here, and this is a level 3 heading, so that's pretty straightforward. If we want to do some lists, we could, here's a level 4 heading. We can do a bulleted list, use an asterisk and a space. If we want to do an ordered list, that's pretty straightforward. So if I hit Shift Enter now, I can see my bulleted list and my ordered list. Okay, so then we would add a cell and we would put our code in. You want to break your cell blocks up so that they're only doing one step at a time. So if you're running too much code in one cell, it makes it harder to debug and it makes it harder for others to follow your code. So this first cell is just to load a data set and inspect the data set to make sure that the data set loaded properly. So when we do that, we can see this looks great to me. I'm happy with that. So then I inserted another block, a markdown block, to discuss what I'm going to do next. In your assignments, I highly recommend constructing them this way. If you were generating code for work, you may not need so much markdown, but for doing your reports and doing your assignments, this is the more logical flow rather than shoving all of your text at the end. So anyway, we're going to generate some plots. So the first plot is going to be a histogram. And this is actually a data set about mushrooms, so I can see how many mushrooms have no odor versus fishy, foul, almond, etc. And then again, I have a markdown block here. And then I'm going to do a histogram of the classes. So poisonous versus edible looks almost 50-50. I have some more code here to do a count plot by mushrooms by odor and class, and then more text. So you can see how I'm kind of alternating text and code. Again, you might have multiple blocks of code before you need to have any text. This is just an example of how you could structure. Notice also that my code is well commented, and you can see that I'm running these cells by running the individual cells by clicking here, so I can kind of follow through and make sure everything's working properly. So now I've created a decision tree. If I want this image, I can actually just copy the image or save it. That's a nice thing about Jupyter Notebook. And let me see if there's anything else I'd like to show you. If you need to get rid of a cell, you can cut it right here, but it'll be gone, so be careful. You can also copy a cell, so maybe I want to create another histogram but with a different feature. It might be easier for me to just copy the cell and then paste that into another cell. Okay, so then finally we want to, when we're all done with our file, we want to export it to HTML because that is the required format for you to submit your homework. So to do that, we're going to come here to download as. We're going to download to an HTML file, and it opens up a blank browser, but I can see it's right here. And when I load it, I have this really nice HTML file. It opens in any browser. Happened to open in the one I'm in. I have my nice text. I have all my images and all my code. So I think that's it. That's a pretty good introduction. If you need to restart everything, you can restart and clear the output. And see there, it's all gone. And then, let's see, I think you can also insert cells this way if you'd like. And you can also find some of those features about deleting cells or copying or pasting, but really this toolbar should be just about everything you need.